how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. Today is Pentecost Sunday. So, Acts 2 has been chosen for us to do today. And I am equipped here with a candle for bugs, okay? And it's on. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. I hope that deters the many moths we have out here on the front porch. And it's a bright sunny day. It was supposed to rain today. Pentecost Sunday, the color is red. That's why I'm wearing red. And I don't think you mind that one bit at all of whatever I wear. You don't care. So, and it always looks good on the channel to have different color shirts. I imagine you would get tired of the black with the collar. And so, but anyway, today, Acts 2, and I will just read this one section, starting verse 1. Now, I'm going to say the moths are kind of heavy out here to 13. When the day of Pentecost had arrived, they were all together in one place. Suddenly, a sound like a violent rushing wind came from heaven, and it filled the whole house where they were staying. They saw tongues like flames of fire, separated and resting on each one of them. Then they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in different tongues, as the Spirit enabled them. Now there were Jews staying in Jerusalem, devout from every nation under the heaven. And when this sound occurred, a crowd came together and was confused, because each one heard them speaking in his own language. They were astounded and amazed, saying, "Look, aren't all of these who are speaking Galileans? How is it that each of us can hear them in our own native language? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, those who live in Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, Asia, Phrygia, Philiphyra, Egypt, parts of Libya near Cyrene, visitors from Rome, both Jews and converts, Cretans, Arabs, we hear them all declaring the magnificent acts of God in our own tongues." They were all astounded and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But some sneered and said, "They're drunk on new wine." Now, I think that's probably enough. Whoops. We'll put this little thing in here. We're reading out of the big purple Bible, okay? Big words, big letters for us seniors. And, but we are, and this kind of reminds me of when I was in high school, in 1972, that's when I graduated. We went to a Jesus People conference in Lincoln, Illinois. And my friend Penny and I took Mom's old jalopy. I think there was a third person that sat in the back row. I don't remember who it was. But we drove all the way to Lincoln, Illinois by Springfield to a Jesus People coffee house. It was real colorful in there. I really liked it. And it had the Rapture painted on one of the walls. Now today we're still talking about the Rapture. Okay. That had to be close to 50 years ago. As we just went through our 50-year high school reunion 2 years ago. And then there was, after that, our 70-year, we had another reunion last year where we all hit 70. It was a birthday party for everybody in my graduating class. It was fun. We went to kind of a pizza place downtown East Moline. Yeah. And they had lots of pizza or whatever you wanted to order off the menu. I thought they were a little high. I think it was called the Palace. The palace, yes. And so, anyway, there with the Jesus People Conference in Lincoln, Illinois, we had a lot of fun there. It was the first time I ever saw anybody speak in tongues. And the whole crowd is all high school and college age kids putting their hands in the air, hopping around, and they even did a wave, like a college wave, starting from one end of the room, going to the other in tongues. Zip, 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 zip. I was fascinated. I was really thrilled with that. And then later on, we were invited to stay at one of the members' house, and they had a finished off attic. The attic, upstairs, and the upper room. And so I brought my sleeping bag. Seemed like the right thing to do. Brought a sleeping bag with my pillow, and they had nice soft carpeting up there. And I remember waking up to someone singing in tongues. And I remember being real sleepy, waking up going, "What's that?" And it kind of scared me. And there was a young married couple. They seemed a little too young to be married, but there was a couple. And they were downstairs. And I could hear him singing in tongues down underneath me. And I was like totally spooked. And I'm asking everybody, "What is that?" And they said, "Oh, that's whoever down there." His name was like something like Jerome or something. And he was singing away. And he was a skinny guy, a real skinny guy. And his wife was a very heavy-set young woman. I remember being that age. People that age are very materialistic. They said, "What does he see in her?" Well, they were in love, of course. And so, but when you're kids, you just don't think about those things. But I remember it was an unusual experience. We spent like 2 days down there, drove back in my mother's old jalopy. It was a 1960 Comet. It was one of those old-fashioned black with red interior. It had wings on the back, fins on the back of the car. And it was not very fast, but it got us down there and it got us back. And so it was a unique experience. And so parents, if you have college-age kids and they were going to go to a Jesus-freak conference, what are they going to do? Pray, Huh? But it was fun. We had a great time. And then after I got home, I helped to decorate the Jesus People Coffee House in Rock Island pretty much the same way, with the rapture on the wall. And we keep talking about the rapture, how it's supposed to happen soon. And then we've been talking about what's going to happen during the tribulation. Mount St. Helens is going to go. And then Yellowstone Park volcano. The park, the entire park, is the volcano. And during the Great Tribulation, that will put ash all the way across the United States and Canada. It'll cover North America. It'll be thickest, of course, the ash will be the thickest by the park, like 8 foot. It'll bury people and animals, and you'll have to tell them, get out of there and get all your animals inside somewhere, and the ash will have poison gases, so they should all evacuate when that thing goes, and it's rumbling, and we know it. So kind of word of warning, and they will let you know when it's beginning to go, but I think it's going to be a surprise. And it'll be, the ash will be about 8 inches thick, 6 to 8 inches thick here in Illinois. It'll be thinnest out there by the coast. But it'll cover the entire continent. It will. And after that happens, then we are told that China will invade. That volcano will affect the entire planet. It'll put it in darkness for several months. Because it's that big. It'll affect the entire planet. It'll make it dark and cold. So you don't want to stick around. You don't want to stick around for the tribulation. There'll be no food because it'll be all covered up by ash, darkness. It won't grow. So get the heck out of here with the rapture, okay? I will see you. Bye-bye.